Yogis, welcome to your Maya Reset practice with me today. Today's practice is Sam Surrender, and Sam is a Sanskrit term which means a collective. It means all together and entirely. And in today's reset practice, we are looking for a Sam surrender, an entirely inclusive surrender. Surrender of breath, surrender of mind, surrender of spine, surrender of the entire body. Your pranamaya kosha, your energetic field, is the one that we will begin working with. And you'll be utilizing some props for not just this opening pranayama, but also during practice too. Ideal props for today's practice is 2 cork blocks, a blanket, a bolster, and potentially also a strap or a belt. So if you don't have those handy, hit pause now and go ahead and find your props or your variation of props, and I'll meet you back on the mat in a moment. Once you've found your props, our opening pranayama today is one of my favorite pranayams. It's a Nadi Shodhana, and we'll take it in a seat, but progressing from our seat, we're going to be working back and taking our first posture as a reclining hero. With that reclining hero in mind, you're opening the quads and opening through the front of the body. And so our pranayam to gently prepare and already begin stepping into that surrendered state. We'll begin in a supported hero. So even if you can really comfortably take a hero with the compression upon the ankles, I strongly suggest you use your bolster or your blocks beneath your sit bones to get yourself elevated and release some of that compression. Release the strap, keep the blankie handy, as you'll be placing that one over the knees to create some warmth. And your bolster will run across the mat, and you'll be taking a straddle position, but allow the knees to draw in just slightly. So we're still looking to set you up with that beautiful alignment of the ASIS, this bony point of the pelvis at the front, running like train tracks down the lengths of your knees. And if this isn't high enough and you're still experiencing some tension in the knees, then even prop yourself up on another blankie or pillow and get a little higher again. Otherwise, joining me, and just use your blanket to keep the legs, the knees nice and warm. I like to wrap this all the way around and cover the feet, the ankles, the toes, the knees. There's nothing worse than really trying to drop into a breath practice and be so drawn to the external, to the physical body because of being cold. So once you have got yourself cozy and warm and set up, our Sam surrender calls for a choice, a collective choice. And so often in our reset practice or these restorative style practices, we aim to physically surrender, and we bring the physical body, the manamaya kosha, to this really beautiful surrendered state. But the mind still ticks, still turns, still goes. The emotions, the heart still races. Today, to drop us into that complete and entire Sam surrender, we begin with our Nadi Shodhana. A Nadi Shodhana today will be our left hand open, ready to receive some of this energy, and just allow the palm to settle into your lap. Your right hand is the one we'll be working with to make contact and find this seal, this mudra. Your index finger and middle finger, will be placing that in the center of the brow. And it'll just be nestled in, just making contact there around your third eye, your center of vision. Your thumb is going to be placed over the right nostril, and your ring finger and little finger will be placed over the left nostrils. So we're creating a seal here. Your Nadi Shodhana is alternate nostril breath. And where I want you to explore with your Nadi Shodhana is that isolation of left side and right side nostril, isolation of left side and right side brain. But the purpose of our Nadi Shodhana is to sync them and to create that fluidity between them. Nadi is channel or flow, and the Shodhana, that second part of the term, is for purification. So finding a purification to prepare for our practice. With your seat settled, tilt the pelvis just slightly and find the spine tall, elongating crown to the sky. And today our chin remains elevated with that nice long line through the back of the neck. And take a clearing breath. Deep inhale through the nose. We'll be breathing out of the nose too. And settle in index finger and that middle finger between the brow. Create a seal with your ring finger upon the left nostril. And deep inhale only through the right nostril. And at the top of the breath, we use the thumb to create a seal with the right nostril and release the breath out of the left side. Allow the lungs to empty. Remain in that kumbhaka, retention of empty lungs. Reverse your journey of breath. Inhale left nostrils only. Create a seal with the ring finger and little finger and release the breath out of the right nostril. One full cycle of breath through both nostrils. We'll take 5 more rounds. Inhale through the right. Change your seal. Release the breath. And out of the left nostril. 4 more rounds in your time, yogis. Inhale through the left nostril. Release the breath out of the right. And as you follow the path of your breath, inhaling through the right nostril, you'll continue on with this beautiful cycle and syncing of channel, of flow, of purification. And as we take our time to yoke left side and right side brain, left nostril and right nostril, finding those clear pathways, not only for our breath, but for our pranamaya kosha, our entire sheath, as we call upon this layer to surrender. 3 more rounds. And you'll notice as you take these final 2 rounds, your breath beginning to slow. Nadi Shodhana is so beneficial. It calms the nervous system, reduces blood pressure. This breath is great for digestion and great for calming and soothing the anxious, nervous mind. And for that to take place, we create this union and this syncing of breath, your final round. Purifying that flow within you, clearing the channels to make way, to pave the way, to create space for us to surrender into. As you close out the second part of your final round, once you've taken your time to work through and close down, allow the right palm to nestle in and be supported by the left as you remain in your seat a moment longer. And the quote we're working with today is from my favorite yogi, BKS Iyengar. There is contentment and tranquility when the flame of the spirit does not waver in the wind of desire. And settling into your final breath in this seat, and feel that internal flame within you, unwavering, and feel into its strength and this sensation of santosha, contentment. And yogis, gently blink open your eyes. And with our pranamaya kosha completely prepared, I want you to take your time to move ever so slowly to set yourself up in our opening posture, which is our reclining hero pose. Our reclining hero pose, it's our Supta Virasana. You will want to set yourself up in a little platform upon the mat, now blocks or whatever you're utilizing beneath the bolster, one at medium height and one at the highest height. And then allow the blocks to become the platform and frame to support your spine. And your strap nice and handy, and then we come back to take that hero pose once more. And this time, as you settle into your hero pose, we'll settle in a little closer to the heels and take your strap or your belt and take it around the knees. Now you'll find as we lay back, the knees are going to want to splay out. And if you have a strap or a belt handy, of course you don't require these, but it just removes that want, that need, and that desire to find us unwavering in our posture, unwavering in our intent. And if you tighten the strap or your belt just enough so you're able to maintain that same alignment we work with, and then find the legs nice and warm once more. Slowly releasing the back body to the supports beneath you, checking in with your alignment and the block that is at the highest point. You're looking to have that aligned to support the head. The block at medium height, supporting your thoracic. And you'll notice as soon as you lay back, the beauty and benefit of the strap around the knees. And just as we worked with our breath to sink in and to create that yoking of left side and right side, brain, energetic body through the nostrils, our strap does a similar thing here. Opening the palms and allow the chest to open. And the body naturally wanting to find a fight. And your legs initially will begin fighting against that strap, and even your energy body will begin fighting because it's uncomfortable to begin with. And that yoking or that yoga takes place when we find our physical body in a point or place, a position of discomfort. And maybe today you're working with your emotional body. And maybe you're feeling within your heart this point or this place of discomfort. And as the posture invites you to open, we invite that flow. We open our channels completely and entirely. Psalm. And although we sense that restriction, just like we do with our breath, that restriction and that want, that need, that desire to fight, to run, to free ourselves, to flee, we use the breath to purify the mind, the body of those desires. And it's within that space in between where we find peace, happiness, and tranquility. And with the front body open, and the low legs, the ankles, the shins, the knees open, the muscles of the upper legs, and this elongated open state. And the pelvis gently opening, your belly, and your rib cage, your heart, your chest, your shoulders, your arms, your palms, all open. Some surrender. And checking in with the throat. And ensure you're allowing for a surrender and an opening here. The muscles of the face, that space between the brow and where we previously had contact. Are you allowing those 2 points, the place in which they meet, to soften, to sink, to yoke? And as they equally slide off either sides of your face, into your position upon the mat for practice today. And yogis, your Supta Virasana, your reclining hero. We'll be taking one final breath here in this resetting posture. As we find our way out, we are going to want to take our time. Let's flip the palms, allow the fingertips and the entire hand to meet the mat as you press in, draw chin into chest, ever so slowly. Press into the mat and draw to rise as we take a gentle walk, finding the spine long. And back in your seat. Let's release that strap or your belt from around the knees. And take that off to the side. You won't be needing that one again. And take your blanket off to the side. And find the hands in front of the knees pressing down and draw to rise. Find an extension of these legs, low runner's lunge, open through the front of the heel, open through the back of the heel, the calf. Reset and switch it over. Right leg runs the length of your mat. Maybe taking a gentle rock and roll over that right ankle and feeling into some length through that right leg. And draw back. And find your way around to the side simply to release the blocks from beneath your bolster now. Bolster off to the side. You'll be coming back to that in a moment. For now, our second posture of your reset practice today is a supported bridge pose. You'll want that blanket handy again. And for here, your single cork block. You'll be taking that one as you slowly find your way back, rounding out through the back body and inviting your spine now to the mat. And feet are shoulder width apart, knees shoulder width apart, hips shoulder width apart. And checking in with the alignment and positioning of your bridge. And as you run the arms nice and long, reaching towards the heels, walk the heels in just close enough that you're able to connect to the back of the heels. And do what you need to stay nice and warm as you take that cork block. We're going to tuck the pelvis and slowly ripple the spine as you draw to rise into your bridge. And we'll place that one cork block initially just at the lowest height beneath the sacrum. As you slowly unravel the spine back to the mat, you'll know you're in the right position for this supported bridge if your lumbar spine is allowed that freedom beyond the block between your back and the mat. Your coccyx still remains off the block, and simply the sacrum, that triangular shape, bony structure at the back of the pelvis, is supported. And initially, if you're using a cork block, you may be feeling into how firm the block is, how different parts of your pelvis have pressure points, and maybe one point or another is talking to you a little more today. And if that's the case, give it a little rub and roll into that point, inviting that some surrender. With different points within our body, we find that surrender takes place with more ease and grace. And the parts that are talking to us, and the parts that are calling our name and speaking out to us, that call for our attention, are typically the parts that are just needing that inclusivity. They need that point, that place, needs a little more love. We're working our way today through potentially the 3 stages here in your supported bridge, and if you're really quite comfortable, listen to your body and sense whether you have a sensation of satisfaction here, or whether your body would benefit from a little more. And as we offer a little more by lifting the pelvis and drawing to a midpoint upon the block, we settle back in onto the pelvis and take a moment to check in as you open the palms. Such a fine line as we explore more and learning to read your body and sense the difference between a desire for more. And if your body is craving more, wanting more, seeking more, knowing whether that will truly benefit the body, more often than not, as we seek and explore more, it's simply that wavering flame. The trick is knowing when it's just the right amount. And for me today, at this midpoint, my pelvis, my low back is enjoying and appreciating in all of its fullness this beautiful release. And as you explore more, can you settle in and feel the satisfaction of that state of exploration? Recognize the difference between that constant seeking, that at some point there will be santosha, but it's a choice. And if you feel the need to offer your hips a little more, you're welcome to press into the feet, tuck the pelvis, and take the block or your prop a little higher again. Be prepared to sense into this and explore what arises for you, but either settle in and find your santosha at this point, or recognize that it may be just a little more than what your hips, your pelvis, your low back, your spine needs today. Not constantly seeking for seeking state, but seeking to settle, seeking to surrender, simply seeking santosha. If you don't explore these points, you'll never know. And for my hips, I felt satisfied at that middle point, and now that I've explored this extra level, the sensations in my low back, the sensation and release for my sacrum is truly a state of santosha. Whatever level you're at, know that we are finally taking our closing breath for a supported bridge, and as you do so, whatever level you're on for your support today, and find a release of the pelvis from the block and slowly unravel the spine, allowing it to gently meet the mat once more. Progressing to our next posture, we'll extend the left leg the length of the mat, staying nice and warm throughout this entire practice. Your right knee draws in, allowing for support rather than on top of the shin today. We take beneath the shin, maybe linking the fingers and finding the palms nestled onto the hamstring as we draw that right knee in towards the chest, for your wind relieving pose, your Apanasana. And we'll take this into 3 levels or stages here today. And once again, the posture really calls for you to question your samsantosha. Are you entirely content and satisfied in this point? And if so, stay here. Or draw the knee a little further out towards that right armpit as you nestle the knee into that armpit. We gently open the pelvis, drawing that diagonal line now for the nadis. And you'll find more space in the rib cage, more space for the breath, more space in which to settle. And choose to stay here. Or take your third and final phase and stage, which is maintaining the knee, but take a walk with the hands, finding the feet, and find a single side happy baby. Maybe just the right hand here as you take the outer blade of the right foot and allow the knee to settle a little deeper. Left hand offering some support to that left hip and leg, looking to maintain that unwavering flame in your channel, your spine. Whatever state or stage you are of your Apanasana, slowly find that right leg extending to meet the left along the length of your mat. And take a moment here to check in with the sensations of the left and the right side, and if those channels are open for you, that flow is open for you, maybe you sense a beautiful warm tingling sensation the length of that right leg, noticing the temperature difference, the difference in that left side body. Let's invite it to the party now as you draw that left knee into the chest, taking that grip, that mudra, that seal with the back of the left hamstring now. The left knee draws straight into the chest for 3 rounds of breath. When we take a reset practice, it's a fine line between settling in and surrendering and finding a softening within the body, and really exploring the availability within the joints and the muscles that we're playing within each posture. And either stay here or we'll take the knee out to that left armpit, finding that slight external rotation in the pelvis. These subtle differences. Walk that line. As long as there's no force, there's no real fire other than that stoking of your internal fire, that beautiful unwavering flame, and releasing any desire for more. We explore more without the craving or the need, maybe taking the body to that third and final stage now as you release the right hand and allow that assistance upon the right hip or the right quad to maintain that beautiful alignment for the spine, but feel that diagonal line of energy as you release the left knee down. We draw open and find your strong foundations through the right side. And that left foot flexed, opening the sole of the foot to the sky. And we stay for one more breath. And slowly release whatever stage you're in. The length of that left leg to run the length of the mat. And taking a moment here in stillness, checking in with that yoking, that sensation of left side and right side syncing and interlinking. And the pelvis, just like that central nadi, that left pelvis and right side pelvis, the left hip and the right hip. Sinking in now with the same sensation we had earlier with the Nadi Sharana, the left nostril and right nostril, all serving the purpose of this collective, this psalm, surrender and santosha. And yogis, you have 2 more postures, progressing now into our fish pose, our Matsyasana. And our fish pose is a deep opening for the chest and the throat. And our legs stay in this elongated state, but we'll be taking the toes to point and opening through the front of the ankle. Our hands, however, we want to place them beneath the pelvis. So to do so, you can either draw the soles of the feet in and lift back into that bridge, place the hands palms down beneath either side of the pelvis, left side, right side, and then find that extension. Or take a little roll and draw the left hand beneath and the right hand beneath, whatever suits you. And then with the hands spread, the palms spread nice and wide, we're going to slowly walk the left forearm and then the right forearm beneath you, finding that spaciousness now beneath the lumbar and thoracic spine. And pressing into the elbows, you'll find that natural tilting of the head. And as you do so, allow the crown to meet the mat. And you can make any subtle little adjustments here, but we're finding the support in the palms, the support in the forearms and elbows, the chest open, the shoulder open, and the top of the head, the crown at rest upon the mat. There's minimal load here for the head. Your upper body is supporting you. Your Ardha Matsyendrasana, your half fish pose. And as we open through the throat, the chest and shoulders, we come back to the breath, noticing any desire to run, to free ourselves, to flee. And we surrender in and find that santosha within the posture. Noticing that what is uncomfortable, whether it be physically or emotionally, offers multiple benefits. And when you find yourself in these positions of discomfort, are you able to settle? Are you able to give in to the posture and allow that ultimate yoking, that collective union, And yogis will take one final breath here now. Adho Matsyendrasana. And as you release the breath, we are slowly releasing the crown and taking the hands out one at a time. Flip the palms open to receive and maintain this long line. Maybe feeling now that beautiful, warm, tingling sensation through the left arm, palm, fingers. On the right side, your right arm, palm and fingers. Can you sense that awakening, that tingling spark of the flame extending through the length of your spine and stimulating the crown? And your final posture today, yogis, is your happy baby as you slowly walk both the left and the right soles of the feet in. I'm going to be taking the knees to draw into the chest, rounding out through the back. And maybe checking in with your neck and ensuring that you have your cervical spine in that neutral alignment, that gentle, soft curvature, and finding some freedom and some space there. And run the hands the lengths of your legs and find them nestled in on the outer blades of the feet as you draw both knees down to surrender, the pelvis to open, the low back and the lumbar spine to open. Happy baby creates so much space through the low spine, and it relieves that load and that tension. And that load and tension that we carry in our seat, in our posture as we stand. All day, every day. And as you find the body in different points and positions, maybe around the pelvis, your legs, your hamstrings, wherever your body is speaking to you from, can you meet that discomfort with your breath? Can you settle in and surrender into the discomfort, pouring that sensation of santosha, that acceptance and contentment? Hearing the call for your body to run and hide, escape, that burning desire for a release, some reprieve, and acknowledge it. We choose not to ignore, but we walk that fine line between our desires and a complete giving up and giving in. And we find that union and that meeting of the minds by exploring and then settling and surrendering upon that line. And now, yogis, we find ever so slowly a release of the feet as they draw into center. And we now explore that line as we release out of the doing. We find the body nice and warm. Long lines for the body today, pointing the toes, extend the palms open, reaching beyond the toes to the base of your mat, the back of the room. And then take the hands overhead, flexing the feet and reaching beyond the crown on the top of your mat. And as you explore both ends, find your line, your happy point in place. And find your entire body meeting you here in union, in that yoking. For that collective, all together. Sam Santosha in your Savasana. And yogis, if you have the benefit of time, please hit pause now. And stay for as long as you possibly can. And otherwise, find some movement through the fingers and toes. And find your breath. And find yourself connecting back to your energetic body. That pranamaya kosha we were exploring today. Let's take a roll to your favorite side. And slowly find your way back to your seat. And keeping the eyes closed down. And we find our hands in prayer at heart center. And take an inhale and find your seat long, your spine long. As you exhale, draw the chin into chest, bowing down with the most beautiful, surrendered state of reverence and respect to that divine wisdom that resides here within you. And closing out with our quote for today. There is contentment and tranquility when the flame of the spirit does not waver in the wind of desire. And yogis, as you take your next breath, allow your spirit to rise, your flame to rise as you gently blink open your eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your unwavering Sam Santosha with me today. Namaste.